Dear students, I welcome all of you. I would like to introduce our English General Paper number 3, in short G3. The title of this paper is Advanced Study of English Language and Literature. Friends, today I am going to introduce the poem number 1 having the title Song of the Hindustani Minstrel, written by Henry Louis Vivian D'Orazio. The present poem, Song of the Hindustani Minstrel, is a monograph. According to the Collins Dictionary, monograph means a book which is a detailed study of only one subject, or monograph means a detailed and documented treatise on a particular subject. Now I introduce the poet. The history of Indian poetry in English starts with Henry Louis Vivian D'Orazio. D'Orazio loved India, its people and its tradition, and made them the subject matter of his poetry. He has aptly called the national bard of modern India and a true predecessor of Rabindranath Tagore. As a poet, his achievements are credible. His poems and sonnets are sustained by deep feelings and executed with wonderful craftsmanship. Now, I explain in short the poem. This poem, Song of Hindustani Minstrel, is a monograph. In it, the poet sings about an Indian minstrel. Minstrel means a singer. Now, I explain the title of the poem. The title of this poem is Song of the Hindustani Minstrel. This is a love poem by Henry Louis Vivian D'Orazio. In it, the speaker, who is the lover, praises the beauty of his beloved, who is minstrel. That's why the title means the song about a minstrel sung by the poet lover. So the title of this poem is very apt. Now I explain this poem stanza wise. I read the stanza number 1. With surma tinge, the black eyes fringe, it will sparkle like a star. With roses dress each raven tress, my only loved Dildar. Here, in the stanza number 1, the poet lover describes the beauty of the minstrel. He compares her with various beautiful and valuable things. Here we reminds the poem A Red Red Rose, written by Robert Burns. As the same way, here in this poem, the lover addressed his beloved as Dildar. Dildar means generous. Here the poet used the figure of speech simile. He compared her eyes with the bright stars. He says her eyes are as bright as stars. Then he said that her dress have design with a raven tress. Now I read the stanza number 2. Dildar, there's a many valued pearl in richest Oman's sea, but none, my fair Kashmirian girl, oh, none can rival thee. Here, in the stanza number 2, the poet said that his beloved is tender like Kashmirian girl. She is more beautiful and valuable than the pearls found in Oman's sea. He said that you are so beautiful and haven't any rival. Now I read this stanza number 3. In Busra there is many a rose, which many a maid may seek, but who shall find a flower which blows like that upon thy cheek? Here, in this stanza number 3, the poet lover praises his beloved. He said that there are several roses in Busra of a maid's choice. However, nobody can find there a flower as lovely as one bloom on the cheeks of the minstrel. In other words, the minstrel is as beautiful as a rose. Now, I read this stanza number 4. In verdant realms, beneath sunny skies, with witching minstrelsy, we will favor find in all young eyes, and all shall welcome thee. Now, in this stanza, the poet said, in the fresh and green fields under bright sky, and all young men will choose the minstrel from all the other charming minstrels. Now I read this stanza number 5. Around us now there's but the night, the heaven alone above, but soon will dwell in cities bright, then cheer thee, love. Here in this stanza, the lover describes the poor and sorrowful flight of the minstrel. However, he cheers her up by saying that her future is bright. The poet lover then advises the minstrel that though they are in darkness now, soon they will go to live in bright cities. Therefore, she should feel cheerful. Now I read this stanza number 6. The heart eternally is blessed, where hope eternal springs. Then hush thy sorrows all to rest. We will tread the course of kings. In this stanza, the lover says that human heart is blessed by God. Eternal hope springs from it. He encouraged her by saying that they will sing in the court of a king, and then all of her sorrows will come to an end. Now I read the stanza number 7. In palace halls our strains we will raise, there all our songs shall flow. Come cheer thee, sweet, for better days shall dawn upon our woe. Here the lover said that the palace halls of the king will be filled with the music of their songs. They will get better days. Therefore, she should not be nervous but be cheerful, because their grief will be soon replaced by better days. Now I read this stanza number 8. Nay, weep not, love, thou shouldst not weep. The world is all our home. Life's watch together we shall keep. We will love wherever we roam. Here, the poet gives the description of the minstrel. The minstrel is poor and her life is full of misery. So the poet lover advises her not to weep. He adds that she should not weep, as the whole world is their home, and very soon they will live life together. Now I read this stanza number 9. Like birds from land to land, we will range, and with our sweet sitar, our hearts the same. Though worlds may change, we will live and love Dildar. Here, the lover encouraged her by saying that they will travel from one place to another as birds do. They will have with them their sweet sitar. Though the places will change, their hearts will be the same. This means that their love will not be reduced. They will live and love together happily. Thus, the present poem, Song of the Hindustani Minstrel, is very remarkable love poem which is called as a monograph written by Henry Louis Vivian D'Orazio. Thank you.